My name is Neka, daughter of Akhefer the palm wine tapper, and I come from the small but proud village of Ijel, nestled between rolling green hills and the wide Oji River. If you have never heard of Ijel, perhaps that is because our ways were strange. For generations, women paid the bride price, and men were the ones who wore the wedding beads. In Ijel, the men sat at home, waiting for women to come and propose to them, to kneel and ask, "Will you be my husband?" We, the women, would save our money, gather goats, palm wine, and yams, and go to the man's family to beg for their son's hand in marriage. It was the way of our ancestors, or so we were told. But what happens when a tradition that once protected becomes a prison? Is my story. The custom of Ijeli. Growing up, I never questioned our customs. I watched my mother pay a bride price for my father. She brought 10 goats, 2 bags of rice, and 20 calabashes of palm wine to his family. People said she was lucky to get a man like him. But I saw how he looked down on her. He would sit in the veranda, boasting to his friends. "My wife paid for me. I'm her king." My mother would bow her head, washing his feet with silence. When I turned 18, my aunties began to whisper, "Neka, you are ripe. It's time to find a husband. Don't wait too long or no man will want you." They began bringing suitors, men who dressed well but spoke proudly, men who would never lift a finger to work because they believed a woman's money was their right. It made my heart boil, like a pot left too long on firewood. But I kept quiet. In Ijel, a woman who spoke against the customs was seen as cursed. The proposal. When I turned 21, I met Ojin, a tall, handsome man whose laughter echoed like a talking drum. He was a hunter, and I admired his courage. For a moment, I thought he was different. Then, one afternoon, under the shade of the Iroko tree, he said, "Neka, I have been waiting. When will you come and pay my bride price?" I froze. My heart beat faster. "You want me to pay your bride price?" I asked softly. He laughed and said, "Of course. Isn't that how things are done, unless you don't love me?" That night, I sat beside my mother, watching the moonlight fall on her wrinkled hands. "Mama," I said, "why must women always pay?" Sighed deeply. "That is how it has always been, my daughter. Don't fight it. Just accept your fate." But I could not accept it. Deep in my heart, I knew something was wrong. Chapter 3, The Women's Market. Weeks passed, and I visited the Ijel Women's Market. There, I saw women complaining, tired and bitter. One woman, Adiz, said, "My husband eats from my sweat and still beats me. He says he owns me because I paid for him." Another added, "These men are lazy now. They wait for women to work before they lift a hand. Our sons are becoming weak." I felt anger rising in me. That day, as the evening bell rang, I climbed a wooden stool in the middle of the market and shouted, "My sisters, for how long will we keep buying husbands? For how long will we keep enslaving ourselves?" The market went silent. Eyes turned toward me. Some women nodded slowly, others looked afraid. "If this continues," I said, "our daughters will never know respect. They will marry men who only want their money." An old woman spat on the ground and said, "Be careful, Neka. You speak against the ancestors." I replied, "Then maybe the ancestors need to listen too." The Council of Elders. Word spread quickly. The next day, I was summoned before the Council of Elders, 7 gray-bearded men who guarded the customs of Ijel. As I entered the palace square, they looked at me with stern faces. The eldest, Chief Ikena, said, "Neka, daughter of Akhefer, we heard that you are stirring rebellion among the women. Why do you insult the ways of our fathers?" I knelt down respectfully and said, "Great elders, I only speak truth. A tradition that breaks our women cannot be from the gods." Chief Ikena's eyes narrowed. "You dare to challenge what has been done for centuries." "Yes," I said boldly, "because times have changed. The women of Ijel are suffering. Our men no longer strive to be husbands, they wait to be bought." There was murmuring among the elders. One younger elder, Udo, said quietly, Perhaps the girl speaks wisdom. But Chief Icona struck his staff on the ground. Silence, the gods will punish whoever breaks this custom. I stood and said, then let the gods speak through truth, not fear. They dismissed me with anger, but deep down, I saw doubt in their eyes. The storm. That night, thunder rolled across Agel like the voice of angry spirits. Rain poured without mercy. In my hut I prayed. Ancestors of light, if I am wrong, let me fall. But if I speak truth, give me a sign. The next morning, the Oji River overflowed its banks, flooding the farms and washing away the men's yam barns. The people said it was a curse. The men gathered in fear. Then something strange happened. For the first time in many years, the men of Agel began to fetch water, rebuild huts, and work in the fields. I smiled. The gods had spoken. No culture stands when laziness rules. The gathering. The elders called for a village meeting. Men, women, and children gathered in the town square. Chief Icona stood up and said, the gods are angry. We must find who has offended them. I stood forward. No, Chief. The gods are not angry, they are ashamed. They gave men strength and wisdom, yet we have turned them into dependents. The crowd murmured. Our daughters are the ones providing for our sons. The balance of nature is broken, I continued. Then I removed my headscarf and dropped it to the ground. From today, I will not buy a husband. I will wait to be loved and respected, and if no man will marry me, I will remain free. There was silence. Then one woman shouted, Neka speaks truth. Soon others joined. We support Neka. No more paying bride price for men. The sound of the women's voices rose like thunder. The turning point. Days later, something unexpected happened. Ojin, the man I once loved, came to my hut. He looked humbled. Neka, he said softly, I have thought about your words. You are right. A man should honor his woman, not depend on her. He knelt and held out a small calabash filled with kola nuts. Let me be the first man to pay a woman's bride price in Agel. Let me marry you with respect. Tears filled my eyes. The villagers gathered again. When Chief Icona saw Ojin kneeling before me, he raised his staff and declared, from this day forward, men of Agel shall once again pay the bride price. The old ways are dead. Drums erupted. Women danced, ululated, and sang my name. Neka, Neka, the daughter who brought light. The new dawn. Years have passed since that day. The men of Agel now work proudly. They farm, trade, and provide. The women are respected again. When young girls ask about the old days, their mothers tell them. It was Neka who ended the curse. Sometimes, I still walk to the Oji River and whisper, thank you, ancestors, you listened. Moral Elias 1. Tradition should serve the people, not enslave them. 2. When customs lose their purpose, courage is needed to restore balance. 3. True love is built on respect, not dependence. 4. A woman's voice, when guided by truth, can change generations. If you enjoyed this story of Neka of Agel, the woman who ended a broken tradition, back in medium dark, like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more African folktales of wisdom and courage.